suggest that the story really begins here in 1995. This fellow is in front of a row of hundreds or thousands of crosses to memorialize the citizens that we lost due to drug overdose and to an explosive outbreak of HIV which began in that year. So all of this goes to say that Vancouver, like many cities here in Europe as well as North America and Asia, suffers from a very high level of drug-related morbidity and mortality. And in 2003, the governments of Canada decided to open a safe injection site in Vancouver in an attempt to ameliorate these conditions. When individuals enter InSite, or the injection room, they are presented with a basket of injection materials, and they can inject under medical supervision. The goals of this facility are numerous: to reduce public injection drug use, which has been identified not only as a community complaint, but also a predictor of serious drug harms. As well, because the facility is medically supervised, the idea was to reduce the risk of overdose-related morbidity and mortality, to reduce the unsafe injection practices, particularly syringe sharing, which increase the risk of infection with bacterial and viral pathogens, and to increase access to health care among this very vulnerable population, composed mainly of street-based, homeless, or unstably housed drug users. The evaluation proceeded along three main lines. First, a description of the facility's operations, investigations to describe or to find positive impacts on the health of the individual clients as well as the community, and as well investigations to find any evidence of adverse impacts, such as increase in drug-related crime, drug-related litter. So the first research question we tackled was whether or not the facility was accessing or attracting the individuals who are at most risk of harm. There was some concern that, especially for street-based drug users, they would not be interested in attending a site with a sort of a medical or official orientation. And we found in multivariate logistic regression that individuals who went on to use the site were more likely to have reported daily cocaine use, as well as public drug use in the period before the site opened, providing evidence to us that this in fact was attracting individuals at most risk of drug-related harm. When we were satisfied with that objective, we wanted to look at whether or not individuals were most high risk using the facility and what the effect on overdose might be. This shows you what kinds of drugs were being used at InSite. It is an injection site, not an inhalation site, so this is all injection drug use. You can see that heroin is the most popular or the most frequent drug used, followed by powder cocaine. Overdose, which we knew or which we suspected from the outset would be common at InSite, there were approximately 1,000 overdose events over the first 3 years of the facility, usually involving heroin, and often involving the use of naloxone or a 911 call. And through our simulated model, we estimated that between 2 and 12 deaths per year had been averted by the facility. I should point out that there are no overdose deaths in the facility up to the present date. The effect on HIV risk behaviors was of paramount importance in the study. And we published this article in The Lancet in 2005, looking at the effect on syringe lending and borrowing. And individuals who reported syringe sharing were much less likely to use the facility, i.e. there was a protective effect of the facility on the likelihood of syringe lending. Obviously, we were concerned that this protective effect could in fact be the result of a selection bias, that individuals who had gone on to use the facility were in fact safer than those who were not using the facility. So what we did is we went back, and in the period prior to the opening of the facility, we compared rates of sharing in the group that would go on to use the facility and the group that did not, and we found that the rates of sharing before the facility opened were quite similar. The population of drug users in Vancouver, like many populations throughout the world, is in dire need of access to health care. And we wanted to see if, in fact, exposure to the SIF would increase uptake of addiction treatment. And we found that individuals who reported at least weekly use of the SIF or who reported seeing the addictions counselor had a shorter time to entry into detoxification. We found that in the period, there was a significant increase in the uptake of detox in the post-opening period compared to the pre-opening period, and as well that individuals who were exposed to detox through the SIF had a much shorter time to initiation of methadone and as well to other forms of addiction treatment, and that after they went through this detox through the SIF, their later use of the facility declined. We did not find any evidence of negative impacts of the facility on the community or on the individuals. We didn't find an increase in community levels of drug use, nor initiation into drug use. And in fact, through our analysis of police statistics, we did not find any evidence of increases in drug-related crime in the area immediately around the facility. To conclude then, our scientific evaluation has found a number of evidence-based findings, including reductions in HIV risk behaviors for individuals who are exposed to the facility. The facility has successfully managed over 1,000 overdoses and significantly reduced the risk of overdose-related death among its clients, and has helped in the increase of medical care among its clients, especially treatment for illicit drug use. This evaluation has found many positive benefits and has ruled out a number of negative impacts. We believe that the closure of the SIF, which has been attempted by the local government for the last number of years, could in fact result in an increase in drug-related, an increase in bloodborne pathogens and an increase in drug-related morbidity and mortality. And we conclude that SIFs are indeed appropriate for urban settings burdened by high levels of morbidity and mortality related to drug use.
Les objectifs de ce bus, c'était donc contacter une population d'usagers qui, ayant peu ou pas de contact avec les structures de prise en charge existantes ou étant en rupture de soins. Donc on avait effectivement ciblé les usagers précaires, mais pas que. Donc améliorer l'accès à la substitution par la méthadone et par là réduire les risques liés aux pratiques toxicomaniaques, notamment à l'injection. Et donc dès le départ, c'était noté comme ça, l'objectif n'était ni l'abstinence ni la maintenance. Et surtout, comme objectif principal, c'était d'améliorer l'état de santé des personnes, améliorer la qualité de vie des personnes, donc améliorer l'accès aux filières de soins et aux structures de prise en charge existantes. Donc la notion de seuil, je rappelle, ça peut se définir selon 3 axes. Donc l'accessibilité du service, le type d'accueil, l'anonymat, les horaires, le lieu, la gratuité. L'adaptabilité des équipes, qui me semble très importante, l'adaptabilité aux demandes, aux populations, au terrain, ce qui implique certaines compétences utiles et ce qui implique un certain recrutement, un certain type de professionnels. Et le 3e axe, c'est le type de contrat qui lie l'usager au service. Sur quoi on se met d'accord dès le départ, et j'insiste bien sur l'accord commun, quoi. Pour les intervenants, le bas seuil, c'est une stratégie qui semble réservée à des populations, comme je disais tout à l'heure, très précaires, très désocialisées, qui ne pourraient pas répondre aux exigences des institutions classiques, et en particulier aux exigences du type de contrat proposé. Donc je pense que c'est en partie vrai pour sur certains lieux d'accueil, où il y a vraiment une forte prégnance de la précarité. Mais en matière de traitement de substitution, il y a, comme je vous disais, nombre d'usagers socialisés qui se tournent vers des services dits de bas seuil, et également ce qu'on peut dire le bas seuil du médecin généraliste aussi. Donc, comme disait Valère, pour reparler du bas seuil, ça serait synonyme de bas seuil de prestations et de qualité, d'où un minimum de budget, minimum d'encadrement, maximum d'économie.